These are the top 10 NFL teams going into week 17, Christmas edition. I'm on vacation, so I don't have time to do the full graphics, so this is what we're going to do. At the 10 spot, we have the Broncos. Haven't really had the toughest schedule, haven't really needed to prove themselves in many ways, but at the same time, you can't really knock them for that because they're getting the job done and they're doing what they need to do to win, so I have to keep them on the top 10. At number 9, we have the Chargers, another team that hasn't really been tested as much. I really view them as a very similar team as the Broncos, but they did sweep them, so I just have to put them ahead of them. It just makes sense. At 8, we have the Steelers. Tough loss to the Ravens last week. I still feel they're a better team than Chargers and Broncos, so it didn't really make sense to move them any lower than 8. And it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back after a tough loss against the Chiefs. Number 7, we have the Ravens' best win that Lamar Jackson has had in a long time. Dominant performance against the Steelers, had to move them up in the rankings, but I didn't think they quite were good enough to go ahead of the teams ahead of them. Number 6, we have the Packers, who absolutely dominated the Saints. All these NFC North teams are just completely stacked right now. And I really think this team has gotten better and better as the season's gone along. Josh Jacobs has come along really well, and the play action off of that has been amazing. Number 5, we have the Vikings continue to put good games together every single week. We have a tough schedule coming up with the Packers and the Lions, and it will definitely say a lot about how good this team really is. As of right now, though, I don't think they're quite at the tier of the teams above them, but it's going to be really interesting to see how this team reacts to getting tested. Number 4, we have the Lions. I think they're just ahead of the Vikings right now. Could definitely see the Vikings getting the job done against the Lions in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. Jahmyr Gibbs is getting the job done with the absence of Montgomery, and the offense has looked as good as it's looked the entire year. At number 3, I have the Bills. Very iffy game against the Patriots, but it is a divisional game, and there's been a lot of weird divisional games this year, so I am not going to hold that against them too much, especially since they also won. Their defense still worries me because whenever they can't force turnovers, they're letting everybody drive downfield. And that's why I worry if they play a team that is smart with the ball and doesn't turn the ball over, are they going to be able to win against these top tier teams? But regardless, they're still top 3 because of Josh Allen alone. And up to this point, not many teams have been able to stop them. Number 2, I have the Eagles. Lost to the Commanders. I'm not going to hold too much against them just because Jalen Hurts was out. When you score 30 points with a backup quarterback in the whole game, that is a good offense. Honestly, I think that this week was just a fluke, so I'm not really holding it against the Eagles. But it was enough for me to put the Chiefs back at number 1. I just feel like they are the best team. I don't care how close the games are. At the end of the day, they know how to win.